At NAB, we're seeing many things that go to the heart of the transformation in the content business and in the distribution business in television, and nothing is more essential to that, of course, than the transcoding and the distribution capabilities that go with supporting advertising and doing everything on the fly with live. TV everywhere is now everything, not just on demand. And one of the companies that's been a real leading force in making all this happen is envivio. We're privileged to have with us Julian Cygnus, who is the president and CEO of envivio. So Julian, thanks a lot for taking some time to talk with us. I guess I'd like to begin with what you're announcing here, because it really seems to be a crucial piece of what will make your platform even more compelling for the marketplace, and that's your experience extension of what you're already doing with the transcoding and the distribution on your other products.
That's correct. So, for the past few years, we really focused on making content available on any device by transforming the content to the right format. But beyond that, we feel that the end user wants more access to a personalized experience, because mobility is all about a personal experience. This is important for the end user. It's also very important for the operator, because it is an opportunity for the operator to monetize that mobile distribution by enabling targeted advertising. And with mobile, you can really have a personalized experience like you have on the internet. So we feel that with the experience server, we are bridging the gap between internet advertising and regular linear TV advertising, and making that possible, the efficiency of the web advertising model into the television model.
It's interesting you're pegging that to mobile, because I'm hearing so much about how really mobile is driving everybody's strategy now, as far as the programmers are concerned, and of course the distributors, in making this a viable television entertainment platform with monetization built in.
Yeah, well, if you look at the numbers of tablets and smartphones being deployed compared to regular PC and set-top boxes, you see where the growth is. It's in the mobile devices, both tablets and smartphones. And that's really where people want to consume their user experience, whether it's for web consumption or video consumption. And so we feel it's a very important, obviously, development, and the way to leverage that more personal platform from the operator perspective is really that personalization of the ad experience, where you can leverage a much better experience, and obviously, hopefully, better revenue and monetization for your content distribution.
So tell us exactly what experience is and how it fits into your overall platform.
Correct. So the Experience Server is a new product that we are announcing as a technology today, and it's a companion product to the Halo product. It works in conjunction with the Halo product, and it basically personalizes the experience of the end user. So the end user can do time shifting, can do his own playlists. He can choose which content he wants to see among the library of available content, and he can record certain subsets of content and then retrieve all this content. And meanwhile, we can also, from the operator perspective, target the advertising based on what content, location, end user is watching the experience.
So this is happening on the edge of the network, out in the distribution points?
That's correct. So the idea is to have this service close to the end user. It is a personal request that comes from the end user directly to that server. So unlike the head end that is typically centrally located, the Halo and that Experience Server will be pushed to the edge, closer to the end user, where they can make their requests for personalization.
Now the Halo piece of this is the actual facilitation of fragmentation and streaming out to the different devices, which minimizes the amount of bandwidth you're eating up to get to the edge.
That's correct.
And so a lot of stuff is being done on the fly already off of the Halo server.
Correct.
And therefore you're able to just plug into that with more software that is the experience.
Exactly. So the software product, the Experience Server, will basically plug into the Halo and get the requests from the end user to either record or retrieve certain content, and then also personalize the ad experience. So it will do all that on the fly, and basically controlling the halo that's behind those transformation and pulling the right assets or recording the right assets.
Now, does any of this play into the so-called second screen applications where what's happening on that tablet or smartphone is designed to complement what somebody's watching on a traditional television channel?
So it can be used in that mode. So you can either watch the whole experience on television or the whole experience on the tablet, or you can split the experience into two different screens. That is a good possibility, yes.
So tell me about how your customers are responding to this opportunity and this availability in terms of what you see as unfolding strategies and uses.
Well, so our customers, we've talked to our customers about their multi-screen deployments, and universally what they're talking to us about is the fact that they need a way to monetize those services. It can be monetized through additional subscription dollars, but obviously not as much as the content owners would like. They're not going to pay 2 times for 2 different screens. They are maybe paying a small premium, but obviously we've talked to them about additional advertising revenue like you can have on the web. And there's been a universal, very positive response about that possibility, and so that's why we developed that product in conjunction with our biggest customers.
How do you get to a point of making sure and providing the assurance metrics that these advertisements that are being inserted on the fly and the live programming are really landing where they're supposed to land?
Yeah, so there's still a lot of work to do in conjunction with the ad decision servers, the advertisers themselves. So the whole ecosystem that is being put in place. It's not just our technology that kind of inserts and on the fly. So the whole ecosystem behind it, and we are working hard on completing that.
So that means some integration with some of the leading ad server suppliers and some of the decision server providers.
Correct. So we're working with the ecosystem to really push what today is possible at the regional level in cable for advertising, to make it really personal on the mobile experience. So that is a much more complex but also much more exciting opportunity for the operators.
A long way from eBIF.
Absolutely, a long way.
As you see the needs of your customers evolving with respect to just the overall encoding and the complexities with ever more content and more devices and everything else, what do you see as the opportunity for your technology around the existing portfolio of content that's been traditionally done in MPEG-2 but still is expanding? Are people looking at using your technology in that space? Because you've always been associated with over-the-top.
That's correct. So, our technology for us, multi-screen has always including the television. However, for many operators, naturally, which had a platform for TV distribution, they use our technology for other screens. So, tablets, laptops, mobile phones, smartphones. But obviously, our focus on a technology standpoint has always been to have a converged vision where from our platform you can serve content to other devices, but also the television, and leveraging our software ability to enable people to do that later. So we are very much in the process of focusing more resources and efforts towards the MPEG-2 StatMax and MPEG-4 StatMax world, so that we can offer a very attractive solution there where people that are not ready to do multi-screen today can do their TV better today on a software platform and extend to multi-screen as they get ready. So we're attacking that convergence from both angles. Instead of just doing the other screens, we're doing the TV for people that want to do the other screens later.
I guess this would start to come into play as a serious need when you start looking at the coming of HEVC and the coming of 4K, which starts to become a hardware nightmare out there in the service provider space.
Absolutely. I mean, the service providers are just, I think for the most part tired of revamping hardware units every 2-3 years because the hardware they bought 3 years ago doesn't comply with today's need. With a software platform, we decorrelate the purchasing of the hardware to the software features. And so we can enhance the software in a much more linear and regular fashion that the hardware can be upgraded. And so we let people buy the hardware more and more. They can buy Cisco UCS blades, HP blades, or our own appliance, server appliance, and just run the software on it. The software will support HEVC, will support the 4K and any other features that come along with the evolution of the video market, which is why we think as a total cost of ownership and as an operation, it's much more efficient to bet on that software strategy.
Yeah. Does it make sense, though, to continue building around those generic server platforms you just mentioned versus, say, going to your Halcyon platform when you look at the kind of processing that's going to be required to go to HEVC? Yeah, you can do it in software, but you end up eating up so much power to do it.
That's right, but you have to count for something. Intel has a roadmap where every year they double their capacity of processing. And so what looks like a big task today will look half the task next year and a fourth the following year, etc. So we really see that phenomenon of Moore's Law combined with more denser and more power efficient platforms from Intel. So if you look at MPEG-4, we had the same debate a few years ago to say, well, how are you going to do HDA MPEG-4 on a server? Well, at the time it was kind of borderline possible. Well, today we do multiple HDs and several other resolutions on a single blade platform.
So you're pretty confident that there will be enough expandable processing on the next blade that somebody puts into their server chassis coming out of Intel that they can accommodate HEVC.
Absolutely, we think we've crossed that boundary, and yes, video complexity increases, but Moore's Law is faster than video complexity. So,
well, that brings into mind the question of HEVC and what you're seeing as. I mean, we're hearing various projections or what its potential is, 50% cut in bit rate. Is that realistic based on what you're seeing, or what are you seeing?
Well, I mean, I think that depending on the condition and the content, I think 30 to 50% again, H.264 is realistic. It's a big range, but it's still the beginning of the technology. So that's a range we're quoting.
So somebody shouldn't go out there saying, well, I'm going to cut my bandwidth in half because I'm going to implement HEVC. They've got to think about it more and more on the other extreme in terms of the latitude they have to leave for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, a third is still a very significant gain. So that's what I would bet on initially, and then with a prospect for 50%.
Where do you see HEVC coming into play first, and how do you see it evolving as far as its implementation in the market?
Well, I think the biggest slowing down factor is going to be the decoders available. And my bet is on the fact that software decoders for PCs, as well as some dedicated decoders on tablets and smartphones, will come first before the set-top boxes migrate. And so I think that some of the over-the-top services, whether they're from cable operators or from native over-the-top providers, will come first. And you know, I see that starting to happen next year.
Okay, next year. So you're not seeing somebody getting really aggressive and pushing the envelope right now?
Well, I mean, we'll see some trials and technology evaluation. We'll see some maybe early pioneers this year, but the bulk of it will be next year.
All right, well, this has been very informative. I thank you so much, Julian, for taking the time with us.
Well, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thank you.